good evening, everyone, and welcome to Midweek Matters this week, where we are delighted to welcome Michael Cash, who has come to talk to us this evening. And Michael is a highly intuitive product specialist with over 15 years of experience in guiding organisations and individuals through technology implementations. Driven by a passion for utilising and advancing advanced AI and machine learning to enhance connectivity and maximising potential. He's proficient in delivering compelling product demonstrations to investors and clients, and dedicated to ensuring users achieve optimal results from technology. Michael is going to be joined today by Rachel Levy for a question and answer session later in the session. So what we're going to do, and I should say that Michael is here, and his company is Voiceitt, so he's coming to talk to us today. I'm just going to let Sarah in. There we go. And I'm going to find Michael on my screen again. There he is. And I'm going to let him talk us through the evening. There we go. Welcome.
Good evening, everyone. And thank you, Anna, for your introduction. I'll begin by giving a short background of my life in education, and then I'll give you already seen this demonstration of Voiceitt, but I'll go into it in more detail. Here's new paragraph. I'm originally from the UK. I grew up in North London, and like many of you, I have terrible palsy. But thankfully, I managed to go to mainstream schooling from quite an early age. However, my biggest challenge was writing due to lack of financial control. And technology has always been a great asset to me in order to interact with society and make my contribution. I graduated with a degree in computing and began my career on a graduate program with Compact, if you remember that company that was around 20 years ago in North of the UK. And I was there for about 2 years. However, my biggest success before I joined Voiceitt was I represented a company called Voiceitt that produced educational technology format, which was amazing because I was a math quite hard as I used to do everything in my head, as I wasn't able to write everything down. And I used to visit schools across London telling you technology which was one-to-one messaging online using AI. And I was one of the top salesmen for a few years. And that came to an end about 8 years ago. And given my background and experience, I always wanted to be involved with technology for disability. And I worked as an technology trainer for a company that provided technology and training to university students with a range of disabilities. However, in the end of 2019, I made the move to Israel, which is where I've always wanted to live long term. And Israel is quite at the forefront of technology for people with disabilities. And every time I got in touch with a couple of the companies, one of them being Voiceitt, removal. So I began at Voiceitt as a QA tester, and at the beginning, our technology was an application on an Apple device, but it was only used for closed set of vocabulary. And also interacted with smart home technology. However, I think this isn't really me. What I want is what you're seeing now, which is our continued speech recognition. And this can be used on any device or technology, be it computer, iPad, or a mobile phone. You just need internet access and a web browser, and you can use the Voiceitt technology. It was the great thing about this is I don't need to worry about my spelling mistake. I can just sit in that and dictate into the computer. It's quite amazing. It was new paragraph. Now I make a mistake and say something I don't want to, I can go back and do. And as you can see, I've got some punctuation commands, exclamation mark, new paragraph. You might be wondering how you interact with the interface. Either you can use the mouse to point at the commands, or you can use your voice. Copy will allow me to copy the text and paste it into another document or somewhere else on my device. Or I can share it into another application on my phone. I can dictation that share the text directly into WhatsApp. You can also play it back as well. Are you with me so far?
I think we're with you so far. Can I ask,
Good.
so
Go on.
did you, can you see the chat, Michael?
No.
So Abby says that she's used Voiceitt before, but she found it
Yes.
hard to get it to understand her.
Did you use this version?
Was it this version, Abby? Maybe Abby will type in the text. I don't know. We'll have to find out which version. I guess it leads me to a question of
What? No, compared to what I do.
okay. So I guess the question, the more all-round question is, Michael, is how clear does your speech need to be in order for it to pick up what you're saying?
It needs to be as clear as someone that knows you well.
Okay.
So the technology was begun by a founder, a guy called Danny, who whose grandma had a deteriorating disease, but he realized that the nurses in the hospital could understand her. So his idea was to use AI so that technology could do the same thing. And that is what you're seeing now.
Amazing.
Yeah. Now, at the moment, I'm in what I call the edge mode. I'm actually going to put up another instance of Voiceitt. Just bear with me. So I know you got what I'm saying on the left. So I'm gonna demonstrate some other parts of Voiceitt on the right. If I move over to beach mode, I can use this in conversation and ask someone a question. How is the weather today in London?
How is the weather today in London?
Yeah, and then you can have a two-way conversation, and then I can interact with that GPT. What's the weather in London?
I'm unable to provide real-time information. For the most current weather in London, please check a reliable weather website or app like the BBC Weather, Met Office, or the Weather Channel.
I don't know why it won't work.
We can tell you that it's beautiful here today, 24 degrees in London. Yeah.
Where is it good weather at the moment in the UK?
Weather conditions can vary greatly across the United Kingdom.
It's not
For up-to-date and accurate weather information, it's best to consult.
It's not being good to me today, but it says work.
Michael, why don't you ask it if what the time is in New York? See if that comes up.
What time is it in New York?
Let's see.
What time is it in New York?
Oh, you need to turn it on. What do you like for breakfast?
English breakfast preferences can vary widely, but a
Now you
traditional
get
full
the
English
idea.
breakfast is quite popular and includes several key.
You get the idea. It does work.
Right.
Remove all. Now you need to get the top people to go in and record. Sorry. Need to record 200 phrases. and you're presented with a phrase. Now, a normal sentence anywhere between 4 and 6 words. However, not everyone can deal with that. Your fiction requires a bit more help. Then we've got another set of drafts for your 4 words, and then another simpler set of drafts, a couple words, and you just need to email us or our partners in the UK about what you want to do with set. And then users need to add the job is still open. And then you go on to the next page. You can listen to the phrases you need help with reading, or you can get to the next phrase. People have got our hands free options, so if you automatically record and automatically submit, you don't need to click the mouse between each phrase. You can just hit and record your phrases and it will go on automatically. Now, remove all. You can add phrases, so there may be some address names that are quite unique to you, or maybe your family name, and you can add them in, or you can add shortcut phrases for the big man. So you want to use a shortcut, and then it will point out the whole phrase. I remember as a kid, I could never be bothered to say the whole sentence when I wanted a Coke. Coke.
Please could I have a can of Coke?
So it'll read it out to me. And then we will go. Read it in my brain. We got integrate with Jeff, really our integration with Microsoft Teams. The people can access what Voiceitt directly from Microsoft Teams, and we're about to release an app for Zoom as well. The other thing I think like to say is we've got our private section. So if I'm on a web page or in Google Docs, then I can dictate directly into. a Google document. Which is great for people that use Google. And it will work on very different websites, and you can even use it to send out forms. And that's my short overview of Voiceitt. And I'll be happy to take any questions either about my career or education or Voiceitt.
Thank you so much, Michael. That was really, really fascinating. And if you're anything like me, your brain is whirring about how this could be really useful to speed things up. So thank you very much. Are we going to leave this up? Would that help with the question and answer, Michael?
Yeah.
It will. Okay, so in that case, I'm going to have to be very adept at finding if a lot of people have got their cameras off. If you want to ask a question, either put your camera on and speak to me, or raise your hand, and I'll be able to. I should be able to see if anybody has a question. Abby's written a question or a comment in the text that she used it in a speech therapy practice.
When was that?
Abby, when did you use it? About 5 years ago, you used it.
That's a long time ago, and the technology really progressed then. And the technology then was only a closed net of phrases, and I would recommend you try it again, and you try our new version that you're seeing now.
And Michael, if somebody wanted to have a go and have a trial of this, how would they go about doing that?
Okay. 1 minute, yeah. But Abby, are you using this version or the other version?
No, but I'm not good a go again because
Emma, can you help me with that?
Yes, I'm just having are you talking about Chris's suggestion? Help you? Sorry, Michael, I missed what you want help with.
I didn't understand.
Oh, sorry, Abby, I got a bit distracted by trying to get Michael on the I'm just going to do one quick thing. I'm going to follow Chris's suggestion so that I can have you on the screen and everybody can read this, and that will just help me be able to see. One second. You can switch between the presenter view and the meeting view on the top corner. Work there. I might have to look into that later. Okay, we'll just keep going. I'm not very good at technology, so I need some practice with technology. Abby, can you just say that again? The last bit you said that you might give it. This
what I find school.
Yeah, that it seems to me easier. So Abby's saying this version looks easier than it was before. Is that the case? Have
It
things
is
got this
easier and it's a lot more comprehensive.
more comprehensive now? Yeah. And I think Nadine's got a question.
Hello.
Hi, Michael. Can you tell me, how do I get hold of this? Is it just through an app, or do I have to, can I buy it on, I don't know, Amazon or something?
I can send you the details. I will send Emma the details of our reseller in the UK.
Okay, and
And
roughly how much are we looking at?
you're looking at about £50 a month
Okay,
or £500 a year.
okay.
So is it a subscription model, Michael?
It is a subscription model, yeah.
Okay.
Removal.
Thank you.
Are there any other questions?
I do have one while people are thinking of their questions. In fact, I've got two, a comment and a question. So one, the first thing you said, which intrigues me that I'd never thought about, having been in lots of classrooms, was, and having had a son that's just gone through his GCSEs, was this idea that if you want to do advanced or more advanced maths and you can't do it all in your head, you need to have the dexterity to write it down, which I find fascinating. I'd never looked at it like that. So thank you for opening my eyes to that, because I'd never thought about it. Well, Paul's got his hand up. Are you agreeing, Paul?
Your mic is off.
Oh, your mic's off, Paul.
Yeah, okay, you can hear me now.
Yes.
I've used Dragon Dictate in the past,
Yeah.
and that seemed very similar, how you give it commands for punctuation and things. But as you said, Michael, I used it, first time I used it about 20 years ago, which was very frustrating. And I've used it more recently to some success, but I must admit, yeah, while I'm trying to get it to dictate, I'm thinking more about what I'm dictating as opposed to what I want to say. I suppose it comes with practice.
But I think your voice is a lot, a
Right,
lot better than Dragon. If
right,
Dragon doesn't work for you.
right.
And I guess we've got some questions in the chat, Michael, that or comments in the chat that kind of follow on and also kind of followed on with my question is, do you have people using who have dyslexia, or is it mostly people that struggle with speech, or both?
it's mainly people that struggle with speech.
Right.
People with dyslexia and to use dragon
Right.
or normal speech recognition. What is that document?
Brian,
Hmm?
what's that? What's the document that you've just shared in the chat?
It's a free version I found of Voiceitt. It says it's free to download, but you have to pay extra for any enhancements, etc. I've just found it on Google. I don't know if it's any good or not. I just found the link. I've not actually looked at it as yet.
No, it's not
So,
to do with
no.
voice.
Oh, it says Voiceitt is currently free to download without subscription. But I don't
Where have you got that?
on Google.
There we go. Maybe something to look into afterwards,
Looked
Mike.
at the Voiceitt web app costs $49.99 per month. And they go down and say, oh, it's just a free trial.
Yeah, we are offering free trial.
Suppose it would help have a
First
trial to see if
trial.
it works. Yeah.
Yeah, and I will give you the details of our research in the UK.
Yeah, it's a 30-day free trial.
Yeah,
Yeah,
where do you get that?
that's on, I found this on Google.
Okay.
Yeah.
And we have a research in the UK called ZRT. You are offering free trial for a month.
Okay. I'm just gonna let Rachel into the room. Hold on. Let me just.
Nadine,
I
go
think
on.
Dean was before me,
Yeah.
actually. Michael, sorry.
Okay.
Oh, it's okay. You can go before me. I'm okay.
I'm just thinking that when I started using Dragon Dictate, it must have been about 1996 or something.
Yeah.
If not earlier. And it was very, very frustrating. This seems to be much more interactive and much
This is a lot better.
yeah, because all I remember doing was kept saying scratch that, and my
Yeah.
mother didn't know
Yeah.
what was coming on from my
Yeah.
head
Yeah.
on the Dragon Dictate. It was very odd. But
Mm.
I
I
have
don't
to agree with you. I felt like throwing something through the window when I was trying to use it for work.
Yes.
It was
Yeah.
very frustrating.
I was
I've
trying
had-
to do my college course and it was dreadful. I wished I'd had this your situation about 4 months ago when I was trying to do my revalidation for work. I think it would have been much easier for me to speak into the machine rather than typing it all up. It would have been much easier, I think.
Okay.
Well, there we go. We live and learn. Dean, you've got your hand down now. Do you want to? Did you have a question?
So it must have gone down automatically.
Sorry.
After a certain time. No, I think he does after a certain time. Yeah, I just wanted to say that I think, Michael's already said, in comparison to, say, like technology moves very, 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 very fast. And so what you may have found not working so well some years before, in anything to do with IT, you know, it's improved. You might find a better, might find a much better and quicker and more positive experience. So Michael, is your product what another products have been mentioned? I think, and I know there are things where you get offered free. You get offered free this and free that, and whereas yours is subscription based. What is it about your package that what you're offering is how does that compare with what else is out there? In terms of helping people with their access needs.
We're the only company that providing speech recognition for non-standard speech.
Sorry, you're the only company that gets
That is providing speech recognition for people with non-standard speech.
okay, yeah. Mm-hmm.
So I guess from what I'm hearing and I'm summarizing is that if your speech, if you have some personalizations in the way that you pronounce things, it will learn the way that you say things. Yeah.
It will learn as you go.
Right.
And even when you've done your 200 measures, it's still learning your voice and how you speak.
I have to say it was very, very accurate when you were talking, and obviously you've been using it a long time. Does it keep learning?
It does. And we've got a team of annotators that go in and check the recordings.
Okay.
But the more you use it, the more accurate it is.
Now I have another question, and this may be because I'm a speech therapist, and and before all this technology, I was just used to writing things slower than my colleagues, or developing a good memory so I could write it all down afterwards. But is it, or in your experience, is it a new way of thinking? Because sometimes when I'm trying to say something, because I'm not physically writing it, I find it more. It's a new thing of learning, that because we're used to like taking a piece of paper and writing something, and then the words sort of flow. But then when you try and do it as if you are dictating it like this, I just find it's a different type part of my brain, and that takes practice. I don't know what you think.
It is different. I mean, I compare it with speed reading, where you're meant to learn to read phrases and not individual words.
Right.
And when you're using voice recognition, I find it similar because I'm not worried about letters or even words. I can just say the sentence or the phrase.
Hi, everyone. Hey, Michael.
Hi, Rachel. Thank you for joining.
Yeah, my pleasure. I wanted to address that question from a speech language pathologist perspective. My name is Dr. Rachel Levy. I'm the customer success manager at Voiceitt, Michael's colleague, and I'm also a speech language pathologist. I wanted to address that question about, it is a learning curve. to use speech to text, any speech to text, right? What we find anecdotally is that individuals who use Voiceitt, generally they're using it because they have non-standard speech. And when they use Voiceitt, it forces them to speak differently. It forces them to speak slowly. It forces them to pause. It forces them to really think about how they're speaking in a way that they wouldn't have done before. And what we're finding anecdotally is that it's actually improving the intelligibility of those individuals' speech. So because they're slowing down, right, all of these skills that we actually teach people to become more understood, they're doing this intuitively because they find that when they use Voiceitt and they slow down and they make pauses and they take their time, they're getting more accurate recognition. So yes, it's a learning curve, but we find that it actually helps individuals be more understood in general, right? Their speech itself is more understood. And then I also wanted to address a previous question about how does this compare to other technologies out there? Just like Michael said, we're targeting individuals with non-standard speech. So there isn't much out there. And I noticed that in the chat, someone said, well, yeah, Google's doing something like that. And it's true. Google does have something like that, meaning they have a program that addresses non-standard speech, but it's an Android application, so it will only work on Android. Our technology works across many different platforms. You can jump between platforms as well, so it's more versatile. And Google's product doesn't keep learning like ours. So Voiceitt's product just keeps learning. And Google doesn't have integrations like we do. We have an integration with ChatGPT. We have the ability to use Voiceitt on platforms such as Zoom, MS Teams, and WebEx. And I don't know if Michael got a chance to tell you, but we have those two, MS Teams and Zoom, new versions of them coming. And that's going to really be a game changer for so many people who want to use this for conferences, for video conferences. And someone just mentioned here, Brian, you said you're dyslexic and you find speech to text very easy. And we're also finding that Voiceitt will help people who have dyslexia, who struggle with a print disorder, and need speech to text. So Voiceitt will actually help those individuals who really need the speech to text, but can't really access the standard speech to text that's out there. So Voiceitt offers them a solution if they have non-standard speech, plus they have a print disorder.
Yeah, well, I think we were talking. Hi, Rachel. I'm also a speech and language therapist, so that's why I asked that question, and it was just interesting. But yeah, I think we talked about that before, whether the people that use your product, whether it's just speech disorders or and would be useful for people with dyslexia. But obviously, if you've got cerebral palsy, some of us have problems in both those areas, and so this seems like a solution for some people. And I know that for many reasons, speech recognition doesn't work because people don't always have standard speech. So this is a really great tool. And I love the way that you can use it with Teams and with Zoom, because this is the way that we're all communicating and connecting now. So that sounds like a really, really good thing. Yeah. Chris has got a question.
Okay.
And then who was that? Was that if you speak again on
Julia has a question.
Julia has a question too. So Chris, did you want to ask your question first?
Yeah, I can do. I think Julia was before me though, so
I'm sure she won't mind.
I was just asking where the user data is stored, where the server's located, which is a bit of a technical question on where, but
yeah, I believe they're stored. The user data is stored in the United States. It's an Amazon server.
okay.
Thanks for asking our technical question. You're our technical person, Chris. And Julia, did you want to ask your question?
Yeah, no, I was just going to say we were talking about using speech and other types of speech recognition, and it doesn't take an awful lot of speech difference for, like, say, Windows or Apple to not understand what you're saying. So, like, if you have to breathe more than Joe average person, it thinks you're starting a new sentence. So you end up with lots of capital letters where you don't want them. Whereas this seems more able to deal with maybe a different speech pattern, even not even like a difficulty with people understanding.
Julia, I know that you do a lot of written work. Do you use speech recognition?
I'm just about to start my Open University course, so
Yeah.
I've been trying out the Windows speech recognition and also the one that's on Apple, and it's okay, but I find I'm having to go back a lot and correct, which makes me really tired.
No, this will be a little bit.
Yeah, and I don't know if Michael told everyone, but you have the ability to trial it for free for 30 days. So there's no commitment here. You just get on board, do your 200 phrases and see how it works for you. And if you feel that this is a tool that might help you, then you can proceed to purchase, or you can, if it's not working right out of the box after those 200 phrases, you can go ahead and record a little bit more to get it to really understand you better. So really it's 200 to unlock it. And sometimes individuals, depending on how far away from standard speech their speech is, it will require a little bit more phrases. Julia, for example, I think you'll get excellent recognition right out of the box, right when you do the 200. So I think it's more a matter of pausing and requiring more breath support to be able to dictate and have the technology accommodate you. And Voiceitt is equipped to do that.
Yeah, thank you.
Do you want to put the web address?
Yeah, I did that. It's in the chat. Yeah, I did that.
Do it again.
Sure.
Michael,
Other questions?
does anybody else have any questions? Not that I can see at the moment. I do have a question though myself. You started to talk about, which is something that was interesting to me, how it can learn keywords and then dictate whole sentences, which I like the sound of. When you asked for a Coke and when you said Coke and it asked for a whole sentence. I remember when I was at work and using some Dragon technology, they had me recording certain phrases that I used all the time in my speech. Could you just explain a little bit more about that for us?
You can add phrases like I've added burger or Coke or zebra, and then underneath it's written out what I want to say. Although these shortcuts are not in dictation mode, they're in the speak mode. So when you're having a one-on-one conversation with someone.
So, so for example, if you were writing lots of old-fashioned, but if you were writing lots of letters and you wanted to always have your address, you wanted it to write out your address.
You can't use it in that way.
Right. Okay.
Don't use it in the action mode. It's only in a big mode. And when you're having a conversation with someone or you're interacting with that GPT.
So when Julia talked about fatigue, talking that would be really useful, wouldn't it?
Yeah, yeah.
Just a little note about that, with the shortcut phrases, like Michael said, you can only use them in speak mode. So it's generally used for either interpersonal communication with other humans or with your smart home. So it's very handy if you're using your smart home to control your lights or your locks, doors, appliances, so many things you could do now with smart home. But just to be strategic about how you program those, because if you use one word to program your shortcut phrases and then say that word in another sentence, it will implant the whole phrase into that sentence. So you want to be, think about how you want to program those. I always like to say, program them with two words that don't often go together in a sentence. But that's how I like to, the tip that I like to give people.
That sounds like a really good tip. Knowing some people that have programmed their Alexas with different words, because they had a daughter that was Alexis and it kept confusing Alexa and Alexis, they programmed it to do something else, but then it kept turning on all the lights. So you were making me chuckle. I can see that happening.
Paul, I think, has a question.
I do a little bit of programming and writing simple code as a hobby. Would it be able to, for instance, cope with Python code if I dictated to it? Or would it be something that I'd have to try?
We actually have. Sorry, Michael, go ahead.
Go on, Rachel.
Oh, no, I was just going to say that I know somebody, one of our ambassadors, who uses this to program code. It's not foolproof. So, there may be some things that you might need to hand type.
Right.
But I know that he's used this to program code. So I think it can be used as an assistance to code writing.
Yeah.
I'd love to hear, if you try it, I'd love to hear about your experience.
Okay, well, yes, it's something that I'll think about. But you can never write code properly anyway, so you always get errors. So it was a joke. Okay, thank you very much.
I'm in awe of your ability to write code, Paul. It's way before me.
I wouldn't hold any skill by it. It's just very simple. Yeah, just I like to do.
It's a fantastic skill to have, particularly in today's day and age.
But I would say any 15-year-old could overtake me quite easily.
Oh.
By the way, ChatGPT can write code for you.
Oh yes, I know.
My son just told me that.
Yeah, that does work actually. Yeah.
So, Michael, I know that we've been talking a long time about. I remember meeting you just as we set up Adult CP Hub a long time ago, and that was before. Well, it seems to me before AI has really taken off. How has AI helped with? Because I know this is something you've always been interested in, and technology has always been something you're interested in. How has AI changed the world for you, do you think?
I mean, to be able to use Voiceitt and also I now use ChatGPT. Now it makes a big difference.
And how do you use ChatGPT?
Sometimes I want to reword something I've written, or I want to ask a question, and I can interact with it using Voiceitt.
Yeah. I think that's pretty amazing.
And I think we use AI without knowing it.
How so?
I think it's used by a lot of technology. We just don't know it's got AI in it.
It's definitely changing the world, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah.
A little personal anecdote that when I was training as a speech and language therapist in the UK, I went to work in a school for teenagers, and I was introduced to an environmental control system, which was the first time I'd seen that people would be able to control their lights and their curtains and various different things in their rooms with technology. And I thought this was an amazing thing. And now talking to the community every week, we always talk about how much things like Alexa have changed our lives and the controls. And now it's because they were thousands and thousands and thousands of pounds, and now everybody has access to that type of voice activated control. So it really is making things much more accessible.
It is indeed.
We've got 20 minutes left of time here tonight with Michael and with Rachel. Does anybody else have any comments, questions, or thoughts about this evening, or AAC in general, if we wanted to open it up a little bit more? Sarah, are you still on the call?
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you use voice activated technology?
Yeah, I do actually. But at the moment, I'm Windows 11 do voice, not activate, but they do like sensing. And I have a grammar. I have CGI, and I also have an app that like rearranges your paragraph into either formal, casual, or whatever. So, but no, I don't use Dragon anymore because my app, my OS Windows 11 doesn't support that version, and I'm not paying £600 for the updated version. That if you uninstall more than twice, it locks you out. You have to buy another one. So no, I'd rather use the default Windows recognition. The voice command, it's called voice command. And I use voice command on my phone as well, my Apple. So
because you're somewhere where for you your clarity of speech is really good, isn't it? But it's your motor control that's more difficult.
yeah, I can't type or anything.
Yeah. But I suspect that's why the standard ones work for you, because of your speech clarity.
Yeah.
Victor, you've got your hand up.
Yeah,
I've used a few different voice recognition softwares over the years. Dragon I've used the ones that come with Microsoft just on the computer as standard. Found that one a bit temperamental. It took a while to get to understand it properly, but it was okay once I got going. But I will say this: while I was at uni, voice recognition saved my neck because of the size of the essays I was having to write out. But I did have to go back through just to make sure that the spelling was on because it would misspell stuff. But
But
you know,
it looks like this technology would have helped you at university as well, because you could have used
oh,
Google.
actually, no, by looking at it, it would have saved me a hell of a lot because my biggest piece of work I did was, admittedly, it was split down into 3 sections, but it was like 30,000 words. The whole thing was 30,000 words. So yeah, that would have been quite helpful at that point. And also, I didn't know you did coding.
You didn't know Paul did coding?
No, I didn't know you did coding, Paul.
Only as a hobby.
Fair enough.
In Python.
Yeah, I've done coding. It's fun when you get it right.
Yeah.
It's quite cool when you see it's working properly.
Yes.
Yeah, and it's done what you want it to.
Yeah.
And there's the nerd of me coming in.
Yeah. Just a little balloon going across the screen, and then you can
That's right.
do something. Yeah, that's my level of coding.
But everybody starts at that level anyway, even the biggest coders in the world have all started
Yes.
where you are.
Yeah.
I did.
Yeah.
Now I'm up to coding all sorts of stuff.
Right.
You can have a coding support group, it sounds like.
Yeah.
Like,
you know what? There are coding support groups. There are groups of people where they have problems with coding, and they put their problem in the group, and the group figures it out. Sort of a giant collaboration of nerds.
Can I ask Abby a question? Does she Abby, do you understand it when Victor talks about coding?
No. I can tell you that.
But I do want to ask you a serious question, Abby, linked to this. You wrote a beautiful blog. Thank you so much. I was really, really touched to read it. Hopefully we can share it with everybody if you don't mind. But when you're writing, when you wrote your book and your blogs, do you use voice recognition?
No, don't understand.
With the voice recognition. Do you think if you had something like this, it would be helpful?
But again, would you understand?
What do you think, Michael? Do you think it would understand Abby?
I think maybe, yeah. Because I know love Paul Alexa doesn't understand me or any
I know you've struggled with voice recognition, haven't you? A lot.
It seems to me doing the free trial you might have a go and see what happens.
That might be good.
Yeah,
Because you've got so much to say, Abby, and they're so beautiful, your blogs.
Oh, thank you.
It really might work. It's worth going.
And Dean,
Hi there. Yeah, I just wanted to say that sometimes like when you're using apps for voice recognition, when you're doing something, you're saying something, and it comes out with something totally different from what you've said, and it really is so annoying, and you end up like really being ribbit when your voice gets higher when when you get a bit annoyed because of that. Then it's worse for it to understand them what I'm saying. But you have to take a deep breath and just go in and just say very very big deep breath in my case sometimes, and just say it a bit slowly, but as normally as you can do it because yeah. But sometimes what I'm saying is with anything, sometimes it's just like practicing and just seeing what works, what works well for the individual. Thank you.
I think
yeah, no,
Rachel sort of talked about that, didn't she, Dean, in terms of or what I interpreted from what Rachel was saying, Michael might disagree, was that you get used to talking in a certain way
Yes.
and pacing, which as speech and language therapists, we always encourage people to do. But when we get deep in conversation, sometimes that doesn't happen so easily, but it's a way to practice.
Yeah, and of course as well there are things like accents as well, and not just what you say, but accents all over the world. Different. Because we all pronounce. Well, everyone pronounces, things in different ways, and I think that's quite clever. You can get it to understand your accent. It's not a I don't know how to say it really. But if it's not kind of not a normal one of the normal accents,
And
it's
not standard, yeah.
box standard, yeah, box standard, yeah.
Maybe Julia has the same. My husband, because he's Scottish, the Alexa doesn't understand him. He gets very frustrated with that, and his speech is just different because of his accent, not because of any other reason. So yeah. Victor, your hand's still up. Oh, sorry, were you going to come in there, Julia?
That's okay.
Okay, Victor.
sorry. I will say this, speech technology, generally speaking, has come a long way. I mean, technology in general moves at a million miles an hour. You blink and you miss it. But speech recognition has come miles in such a short period of time. Like, it was a long time before I even realised that speech recognition was on Windows as standard. I always thought you had to download a speech recognition thing. I've always thought you had to download one to use it, and then when I was looking for the program, I found it on there.
Victor,
Yeah.
hear me?
Yeah.
Don't use the old. If you're on Windows 11, don't do the old version of Windows recognition. Use the one that's updated. It's a lot accurate.
Fair enough. And sorry, bit side note, but when it used to come to voice recognition, I swear to God, having background noise. used to get on my nerves.
That's a
He
really
sort
good
of
question, though, Victor. Should we
oh,
ask Michael what voice it's like with background noise?
yeah, actually, yeah, go.
I one Voiceitt has done be able to work with background noise, and then it's up to success. However, I'd rather use it in a quiet environment.
Yeah, because well, I used to have a laptop that used to get quite loud with the fan running in it, and I couldn't use the voice recognition with the fan running in the computer because it used to interfere with the sound, which was annoying. But you know, one of them things. But as I say, this sort of technology has come along in miles. Like it's amazing how quickly it's moved through. Like
Yeah.
15 years ago, it would have been virtually unheard of. Take it back 15 years, you'd blow someone's mind.
Well, we'll see what's to come. I know we've only got 5 more minutes of Michael's time. Does anybody have a final question or a comment before I tell you about what's happening next week? No, nobody. So it just leaves me to say thank you so much, Michael, for coming in to talk to us about all this new technology. You've really blown my mind, if not everybody's mind on this call. It's really nice to know that there isn't a way that we can all go out and try it. I think that Rachel put the link in the chat, and I'm sure if I ask Michael, he'll send it to me. So if anybody wants any more information, then please come through us here at Up, and we will pass on that information to you. So thank you so much, Michael, for coming this evening. It's been lovely to have you, and lovely to hear about your journey, and how much you've done in the last few years. It really is brilliant to see you.
Thank you.
Thank you, and thank you to Rachel too for popping on from the States. I think we all had a really interesting evening this evening, and it sort of talks to the wider point of what we're trying to do, which is showcase all the abilities of people within the community, and the different struggles that people have, and the way that we can support people to live better with cerebral palsy. So thank you very much.